This is Matt for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by dazzling Darren Barker. It's been a while. How's things?
Yes, yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm buzzing for the show. Obviously, I can't wait for tomorrow. I think we're in for a real cracker, mate.
In terms of a fight, we often complain in boxing that big fights don't get made. Leigh Wood's gone for a voluntary against a guy who's, well touted, well known for what he did when he came over here. What does that say about Leigh Wood, who said, you know what, just give me that test? Because he doesn't really have to do this. I think that's important.
Balls of steel. It's the best way to describe it, I think. And it does show that this fight was easier to make because they're under the same promotion. Eddie represents both, so it was easier in that sense. But as far as Leigh Wood taking this voluntary defence, and remember it's a voluntary defence, is testament to his courage and his self-belief. I mean, he's on a great run of form. The confidence he would have gained from the two fights in particular, Kanzu and Michael Conlon, incredible. I mean, he showed a bit of everything. He showed boxing know-how, he's shown power, he's shown courage, he's shown heart. Everything you need to win this fight. And I can understand why Leigh and Ben believe that they can win this fight, because there are vulnerabilities in Lara's style.
What do you? That's what was coming on to my next question. What do you see in Lara's style that makes Leigh Wood think, you know what, we don't only have a chance, we definitely can beat this man? Because he's got... Go on.
Well, Lara does Lara. He has total disregard for what his opponent's doing, and that makes him extremely dangerous because he commits to his own shots. He rubbishes any game plan that the opponent might have. He's like, right, I'm going to do my thing and let them worry about me. But what that does do, when you're loading up with shots and you have disregard for your opponent, that leaves openings, vulnerabilities. And I think if Leigh Wood can take the space away from him, he can't be bullied, he can't be backed up onto the ropes or in the corner. You've got to take a little step out, make Lara fall short. Yeah. And if the shots I would be looking for would be the body shots and then coming up through the middle. I felt Lara against Emilio Sanchez looked vulnerable around the body. And I will say, I don't know if he's tight on the weight or not, but I think he may have punched himself out. And it was only 3 rounds. Yeah. And I think, look, if he can hurt him around the body, drag him into the trenches, Leigh, but being smart, I think plenty of feints, committing to the shot. And what I mean by that is not to get too technical now, but either feint or throw the shot properly. Yeah. There's a lot of time people can pour with that lead hand. What Lara likes to do is reactive to the shot. Yeah, so he'll feel your arm on him, the glove, and he'll fire back with a right hand. So it's important for Leigh Wood to either feint, draw out the lead, commit to the shot, draw out the lead. And I think if he can do that, frustrate Lara, come back with quick counters, he's got every chance. But it's just staying away from Lara's power, who, look, we know he carries power throughout the duration. It's not just, Lara's dangerous early on. He will be dangerous late, but I do feel there's vulnerabilities around the body and with his engine. I don't know if that's to do with the weight or what, but I mean, was you there Wednesday at the media workout?
No, I couldn't get
I mean, I've seen blokes hit the pads before, heavyweights hit the pads, and I was watching them hit the pads, and I know they don't hit back, etc. But you can see the thud and the noise, and there was wind, there was air coming off of the pads. It was frightening. So Leigh Wood's got a tough task staying away from those.
I know it's difficult to sort of say focus on the job, but there's big implications for Leigh if he wins this, and Mauricio. But he wants the city ground fight. That's his not end goal, but he needs to do it before his career's done. Josh Warrington obviously met him at the city ground. What do you make of that? Is that the fight you would want for Leigh next if he comes through, or would you say the Conlon rematch was unbelievable? Do that. What if you're that side of the fence? What do you think?
For either winner, I'd like to see Warrington. So if Lara comes through, I'd like to see the third fight. There's unanswered business, if you like, and I think Leigh Wood, that's one of the reasons. Other than being, I want our lads to do well. Other than the fact I'm patriotic towards our fighters, can you imagine Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington at the City Ground? I mean, that sells out. I think it's about a 29,000 seater.
Yeah, it sells out comfortably.
It sells out comfortably. What are you going to have? Another 2, 3, 4,000 on the floor. You're going to have easy 10,000 Leeds supporters. You're easy going to have 10,000 Leigh Wood supporters. You're going to do the rest through general, walking. That bangs out that stadium. So, I mean, for numerous reasons, I hope Leigh Wood pulls it off, but mainly so that fight could happen. I would love that, mate.
I have to say that fight is going to be electric if it happens. Quickly, I know we haven't got a lot of time. Quick thoughts on AJ. I saw the press conference the other day. I weren't there, but the comments about the money thing for me was a bit strange. I don't know whether he just throws these comments out there to the media as if to say, go run with that, whatever you please, because for me, I want to tweet him on. This is about me, grabbing this game by the balls again and going for it. Yeah. So when he says money, I'm like, is this a throwaway or not? Because we want that Anthony Joshua back who we all grew up on, don't we?
He's naturally competitive, so he'll want to win, and he'll want to win titles again, no doubt about it. But you've got to remember, this is prize fighting. Fighters are in there in the professional game to earn money, and there's plenty of it. And no money's enough. I mean, I wish I had a few more quid. I got 4 kids. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I totally understand how hard this sport is. When you're in the gym grinding, the stick that AJ for some reason has got, he deserves every penny and more, and that's what he's going to do. Franklin, another thing, I don't think it's a bad fight. You got to remember, he's off the back of 2 defeats, right? 2 sick. I don't know if you can call this a tune-up or not, because I thought Franklin, the fight with Dillian Whyte was like that. I commentated on it, and there was hardly anything in it. I mean, you can make an argument for both. Got quick hands. I don't think he's got enough power to worry AJ, but he's got enough in his style to cause trouble, certainly early on. So I think it's a good fight at this stage of AJ's career. Then we can push on if he gets past Franklin, and there's some big nights out there.
100%. Eddie was talking about the likes of stepping in for the Fury fight in the summer, or possibilities of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is still a frigging mega fight to make. What do you make of that fight if they were to make it in the summer? Do you see that as a coin flip? Do you favour one over the other? What do you think? I know this is difficult for you to...
in the respects where... look, it's similar to this fight early on, I think, for AJ, as it is for Leigh Wood, to be wary of Deontay Wilder or Lara's shots early. If Deontay Wilder was to catch AJ clean, it's going to be very difficult to recover. He's still, regardless of what happened with Fury, one of the biggest punchers out there, certainly one of the biggest heavyweights of all time. So it would be very difficult. But if he can impose his size, AJ, into that fight, because he's naturally bigger out of the two, he could bully Deontay Wilder like Fury did. But can you imagine the energy just before that first bell? It would be crackers. So I'm all for it. I just think we should celebrate
Wilder here.
Exactly that, because I remember when Lewis retired, you're like, and I remember my dad saying when Ali retired, you're like, you're just a little bit gutted. I don't think you appreciate it at the time. And whether you like somebody or hate somebody, they're playing their part in this. It's like pantomime. It's like these soap operas, these dramas. There's characters you like and there's characters that you don't like. I think just embrace it while it's here, because trust me, you'll be disappointed when it all goes away.
I think that about every boxer. I don't think no one's truly appreciated until they're retired, and it's sad really they don't get that. Final one from me. Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, are you watching it? What's your opinion on it? And it's for a ranking.
I probably will watch it, just because there's a bit of genuine needle. But if I'm deadly honest, I haven't seen enough for both, if I'm honest. I don't know if Jake Paul's any good or if he's a complete fraud. And the same for Tommy Fury. I just don't know, because I haven't watched enough of them. I mean, my gut says Tommy Fury surely got to win this. I fancy myself against Jake Paul. And I'm pretty sure Tommy Fury would beat me now. So, I'll tune in. But I just couldn't tell you. I've not seen enough of them.
What do you make of it being for a WBC ranking? When Jake Paul's obviously fought basketball players and stuff like that, and it's like, if Jake wins, they'll put him in the rankings. Is that a bit much? Unfortunately,
it shows you again that money plays a massive part in this sport. And there is no fucking way in this world that Jake Paul should be getting a fucking top 15 rating with the WBC. It's absolutely ludicrous. Other than the fact the WBC, Mauricio Sullivan and his little mob are going to make fortunes, aren't they? So anyone who knows the score knows it's all about money.
Darren Barker, thanks for talking to Boxing Social. Catch up again soon.
Mate.